34 days of this war, and our focus this morning is on a city called Mariupol. I'm sure you've heard of it in the course of our broadcast. It's a port city, strategically hugely important because it's the only gateway to the Sea of Azov, which is why you see these images right now from Mariupol of intense shelling, of non-stop bombardment by Russian forces. And it's essentially destroyed this city. Moscow's bombed residential areas, schools and hospitals in the port city since the invasion. Ukraine has claimed that nearly 5,000 people have been killed so far in Mariupol, blocked by shelling. This city is also running out of water or food supplies. There's no way humanitarian aid is also able to reach the city right now. Many roads are inaccessible due to a combination of mines and burnt-out military equipment. According to the Mariupol mayor, about 90% of the buildings in the city have been damaged. 40% have been completely destroyed. Over 140,000 civilians have managed to escape from this besieged city. But what's worrying is that 170,000 people are reportedly still trapped there.
Маріуполь так і залишається заблокованим. Російські війська не дали організувати сьогодні жодного гуманітарного коридору, не дали тишу. Маріуполь так і залишається заблокованим. Російські війська не дали організувати сьогодні жодного гуманітарного коридору, не дали тишу.
And let's also get you details of what's been happening in Mariupol. Things looking very, very grim in this port city because the Russian troops, in fact, have been targeting this particular city since February 24th. So over a month now, we've been seeing things going from bad to worse in this once beautiful city. As a result of Russia's all-out assault and attack since February 24th, there's been a massive humanitarian crisis also that's played out in Mariupol. We understand that over 5,000 civilians have died. This includes, horrifyingly, over 200 children dying. According to Ukrainian authorities, that's happened in the last 34 days. Over 160,000 residents are still trapped in the city, with 90% of the buildings being damaged. That's an extremely worrying figure. So far, we understand that many people have managed to flee. About 150,000 people have managed to flee from the city. But what's troubling is that nearly that same number is still stuck also in Mariupol. Now, the Mariupol mayor has said that 90% of the buildings currently in the city have been damaged, have been destroyed. And that's extremely worrying. It means that people have no place to hide. And let's also get you details of how Russia is going all out to try and target and capture the city of Mariupol. The man you see on your screens is Ramzan Kadyrov, Chechen president and a warlord. He's Vladimir Putin's ally. He's now in Mariupol, where Chechen fighters have been fighting for the Russians.
Вот так говорит наш командующий, самый лучший командующий.
Ramzan Kadyrov, the man who rules Chechnya with an iron fist, handpicked by Vladimir Putin for the top job. Someone who wrestles crocodiles with bare hands. Known as Putin's attack dog, Kadyrov has landed in the near-fallen city of Mariupol, where the dreaded Chechen fighters continue their deadly assault. The Chechen warlord is likely to finalize the strategy for his fighters in Mariupol. Kadyrov portrays a macho image of himself, frequently posing with guns and military garb. He has never shied away from flaunting his opulent wealth. A known tyrant who stops at nothing. The Chechen president has been accused of a wide array of human rights violations under his rule. Kadyrov has been accused of ordering torture and extrajudicial killings, along with a string of assassinations of Russian journalists and human rights activists. A number of his Chechen critics who sought asylum abroad were attacked or killed even on foreign soil. Kadyrov imposes regression through violence in Chechnya. where he ordered women to be shot at with paintballs for not observing the Islamic dress code, even urging men to block their wives from using WhatsApp. The Chechen leader also backs polygamy and in the past has ordered purges against homosexuals, going on to claim there is no homosexual person in Chechnya. Ramzan Kadyrov is one of Kremlin's deadliest weapons, and Putin has now decided to unleash Kadyrov on Ukraine. Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, Kadyrov has been deployed by Russia in response to Ukraine, actually putting forth Azov battalion forces on the ground in Mariupol. Now, these are neo-Nazi forces, and they've been fighting on behalf of Ukraine in Mariupol, which has led to a lot of questions being asked of Ukraine, whose spirit of defense so far has been hailed by the world.
Battered, bruised, besieged. After relentless Russian bombardment and civilian deaths, Ukraine's second-largest city of Mariupol is on the edge, but still holding fort. Moscow has launched an all-out war to capture the city, which can act as the bridge between Donbass and Crimea, two regions that are already under Russian control. According to reports from the ground, Mariupol is mainly being defended by Ukraine's Azov battalion, a unit infamous for war crimes and torture tactics. This video was released by the Azov battalion last week. The footage appears to show tanks firing down a street in Mariupol. The Azov claims to have destroyed 3 Russian armored vehicles and 4 infantry fighting vehicles. Mariupol is also where the battalion has set up its headquarters. The Azov Special Operations Detachment is a right-wing neo-Nazi band of soldiers. A volunteer militia, the Azov was incorporated into the National Guard of Ukraine in November 2014 after recapturing Mariupol from pro-Russian separatists. Russian President Vladimir Putin has spoken of the presence of such units within the Ukrainian military to justify his war.
We simply don't have any other choice to protect our people, and we'll have to use the only available choice that we will use today. The circumstances require immediate, resolute action. People's republics of the Donbass have requested assistance from Russia. In this regard, in line with Article 51.7 of the UN Charter, with the authorization of the Parliament of Russia, and in exercising the Treaty on Friendship and Mutual Assistance with the Donetsk People's Republics and Lugansk People's Republics, I've taken the decision to conduct a special military operation. Its purpose is to protect people who have been subject to abuse and genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. And to do this, we will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine, and also bring to justice those who have committed numerous bloody crimes against civilians, including citizens of the Russian Federation.
Just a few days after the war started, the Ukrainian National Guard had shared a video of supposed Azov fighters allegedly dipping bullets in pig fat for use against Muslim Chechen fighters in Ukraine. The regiment brazenly flaunts the Nazi insignia, notably its Wolf's Angel logo, the original symbols used by the 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich. The Azov is least concerned about being labelled neo-Nazis.
Where did they get those symbols from in the 1940s? They weren't all new. Sometimes it's easier to adopt something that already exists.
To the left-wingers and liberals in the West, just having basic conservative values is enough to be classified as a Nazi. To be honest, I don't really care what my enemies call me.
While the world rallies behind Ukraine against Russian aggression, the Azov battalion's questionable methods have cast a shadow on the country's spirited defense. Bureau Report, India Today.
34 days into this war, and Ukraine is claiming that Russia is again putting all of its might into capturing the capital city of Kiev. They haven't been successful so far, but as a result of their all-out assault to capture the capital, we've been seeing the suburbs witnessing maximum shelling and strikes. Ukraine has warned that this is only going to get worse going forward.
Уже штук 20 пролетіло. The raging battle for capital city Kiev continues, and Moscow is increasing both intensity of attacks and ferocity of weaponry, aiming to make the phase 2 of the ongoing war even deadlier. Russian troops are attempting to advance on Kiev from the northwest and the east, capturing nearby roads and villages. But Ukraine is not backing down. Russian forces are currently being held back by Ukrainian fightback in outskirts of Kiev.
Early this morning, there was intense shelling reported from the north, northeast and west, 3 directions in Kiev, and that is where the Russian forces are reportedly advancing. So initially there was a feeling that there would be a lull since negotiations are happening, but there appears to be an intensification in the operations that are being carried out by the Russians.
Villages surrounding Kiev, including Bayshev, Stoyanka and Sitnyaki, are in ruins. Their infrastructure damaged, buildings destroyed and streets deserted.
The workers are still working, and they're making sure that in case of any heavy bombardment in this area in Sofia Square, this statue, which is an ancient statue, is a heritage of the city, is protected and is not damaged in any kind of air attacks from the Russian forces.
Destroyed tanks, armored vehicles dot the landscape, indicating a massive trail of destruction. India Today met a group of US war veterans who have arrived in Kiev to help Ukraine fight back.
So Marshall incidentally is a combat veteran. He's had extensive tours of duty overseas with the US Armed Forces. John, you're helping as a volunteer. What do you do?
So I'm actually bringing donations from Canada. I'll be volunteering at the Medika border crossing, just helping refugees. I passed through there a couple days ago. They definitely need all the assistance that they can get, 100%.
Despite continued attacks from Kiev, some residents of Kiev who fled the capital city are slowly returning home.
Now that the two of you are back and you're on rotation, you're on R&R right now, you'll go back to the front line.
Yes, next week, approximately next week.
So the time that you're spending together, and I don't want to, be as, take away a lot of your time, but you do intend to now come together for a longer period, I believe.
Of course. Now we have time for a week, and we try to walk, try to drink a coffee, and maybe bicycle tomorrow. Of course, I find flowers for she and try to make happy moments.
When you try to make happy moments, you're also planning to spend your life together, I believe. That was the conversation the two of you were having when we met.
Мы когда с тобой гуляем, ты планируешь, что мы и дальше будем с тобой гулять, будем дальше встречаться?
Конечно же. Я надеюсь...
Of course we will try and we make everything what we can for this. And ты надеешься, что...
Да, я надеюсь, что мы будем вместе.
She hope we will be together.
I wish you all the best, sincerely. The two of them looked lovely together, and that's when we walked up to them and struck a conversation. Amidst all the death and destruction and gloom, there is this story of life, there is this story of happiness.
Local churches becoming rallying points for residents. With Gaurav Sawant and Rajesh Pawar in Kiev war zone, Bureau Report, India Today.